No, actually, no, it's 28 elections. And in every single one, there was a Republican in office, and there's now a Democrat. Donald Trump laughing with Brian Kilmeade about Russia providing targeting information to kill Americans now that, what are we up to, 14, 16? I believe it's 14 Americans dead. When this tanker just went down with 6 American soldiers on it, or airmen. And meanwhile, the administration has come up with a new talking point. They're all saying it. Short-term gain or short-term pain for long-term gain. Yeah. You know why they're saying that? Because they had no idea or made no plans. These people are so stupid. I can't think of another word. I mean, just bumblebleeps, right? I mean, just stupid to say, oh yeah, we'll attack Iran, but they won't close the Straits of Hormuz. I realize they've been threatening it for 50 years, but they would never do that, would they? They did it. And now they're laying mines. It can take weeks to pull those mines out of there, and it's dangerous. It's difficult. So if you think this thing is over, it ain't close. It ain't close. And then this is this short-term gain. Even if people are well, I don't need to quote you. You've all heard it. The short-term pain for long-term gain. And then on top of this, Brian Kilmeade on Fox So-Called News asking Donald Trump, I'll just share the conversation with you. He says, he's talking about American soldiers dying in the region, right? And he says, Kilmeade says, you think Putin's helping them? And Trump says, I think he might be helping them a bit. Yeah, I guess. He probably thinks we're helping Ukraine, right? And Kilmeade goes, and you are, right? And Trump says, yeah, we're helping Ukraine also. And he says that, and China would say the same thing. It's like, hey, they do it, we all do it in all fairness. They do it and we do it. And then he laughs. I would think that if the President of the United States was told that another nation was helping a third nation kill American soldiers, Marines and airmen, and sailors, that he would get upset about it. But when it's pointed out to Trump that Putin is helping kill American soldiers, his response is the same as it was last time. This was in 2020 when he was president, when it came out that Putin had put a bounty. He was actually paying Afghan insurgents for every American soldier they killed. And when the proof was given to Donald Trump, he shrugged it off. He said, yeah, well, we've done bad things to Russia too. There is nothing Putin can do that Trump will not bow down and kiss his ass over. I mean, this is the most pathetic, servile, beta president we have ever had. He struts around like he's a tough guy until Putin calls him on the phone, and then suddenly it's, yes, Mr. Putin, or what would you like, Mr. Oh, I'm happy to do that for you, Mr. Putin. No problem, Mr. Putin. And I think Americans are figuring this out. There have been 28 elections so far this year. These are all state elections, state-based elections. People running for state assembly, state representative, state senator, 28 of these elections. And actually, there have been more than 28 elections, but no, it's 28 elections. And in every single one, there was a Republican in office, and there's now a Democrat. Some were special elections, some were, whatever, but 28 times. This is Peter Rubenstein writing for The Mirror. A victory by New Hampshire Democrat Bobby Boudman on Tuesday, this is just this week, in a district previously carried by Donald Trump, marked the 28th such election upset for Republicans since he retook office. Boudman had lost by more than 13 points in 2024. But this time, big victory. The article goes on to say, Tuesdays are becoming a headache for state Republicans across the country as they suffer one stunning defeat after another, according to Heather Williams, DLCC president. She says, these wins aren't a flash in the pan. Together, they tell an undeniable story of Democratic momentum as voters reject Republicans and blame them for soaring costs. And, and now Trump and the Republicans are out there going, well, let's talk about affordability. This was his shtick yesterday, right, when he went out and talked to the cult members at his rally. We're providing. He actually lied to them. He said, the price of food is going down, price of gas is going. No, it's not. And in fact, his new tariffs. The Supreme Court knocked down his 50% tariffs, so now he's stuck with 15% tariff. Well, that's going to cost the average American family $400 this year. His last year, the tariffs cost the average American family around $1,600. And so now he's got this new answer. He's like, well, yeah, it's going to be tough for a short period of time. We'll acknowledge that soldiers are going to die, that we're spending $1 billion a day in Iran, bombing the crap out of people when at the same time that we're cutting school lunch programs, we're cutting money out of Medicaid for low-income people and gig workers. At the same time we're doing all this stuff to Americans, refusing to fund America. We got plenty of money to blow up Iran because Bibi Netanyahu asked us to. It's incredible. 120 Democrats in the U.S. House of Representatives yesterday sent a letter to Pete Hegseth asking if the girls' school that was blown up because he was using AI, and the AI was running off an old bit of data. Did anybody bother to look, including the bomber? Maybe it was taken out by a missile that was, over the horizon and they couldn't see. If it was an airplane flying that and dropping bombs, you would think that they could see that there was a schoolyard, there was a jungle gym, a playground. So the Democratic lawmakers, they were led by Sarah Jacobs, a Democrat from California, member of the House. She writes, what is the role of artificial intelligence, if any, in selecting targets, assessing intelligence, and making legal determinations during Operation Epic Fury, or as I call it, Operation Epstein Fury? If AI is used, she writes, is it subject to human review? And at what point? Did a human verify the accuracy of this target of the girls' school? Pentagon investigators have concluded that, yes, we killed those little girls between 7 and 14 years old. The school strike, quote, was the result of a targeting mistake by the U.S. military. Donald Trump still has not acknowledged that mistake. No acknowledgement, no apology. Brad Cooper, the head of U.S. Central Command, said in a video, our war fighters are leveraging a variety of advanced AI tools. NBC reported this week the military is, quote, using AI systems from data analytics company Palantir to identify potential targets in the ongoing attacks. Oh, interesting. Palantir is Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel's the guy who made J.D. Vance a senator and then vice president. Interesting. They go on to note, Hegseth has worked to dismantle initiatives aimed at reducing civilian deaths, scoffed at what he calls stupid rules of engagement, and said maximum lethality is the top priority for the U.S. military. Well, we're maximally lethal. We killed 160 little girls. The lawmakers wrote, this is in this letter to Pete Hegseth, they quote, the U.S. and Israel have reportedly struck or impacted numerous civilian sites, including schools, hospitals, gymnasiums, public gathering spaces, and a UNESCO heritage site. Civilians and civilian infrastructure may under no circumstances be the object of attack and must at all times be respected and protected by all parties. Well, obviously, that's not the case. That's simply what the law requires. Both American law, military law, the Uniform Code of Military Justice, and international law, the rules of war. Incredible. Meanwhile, they're reporting 2 brothers, 2 sisters-in-law, niece and a nephew were all killed in Lebanon, related to the guy who drove his truck into the synagogue in Michigan. No justification for it, but now we understand what's going on.